Hello there.
Welcome back, Fanfield family. Today, we're going to talk about a creature from Manaan, something that gave child me chills, a FIRAXan shark.
A what?
A FIRAXan shark, also known as FIRAXA. Manaan is a rather unique world in that the entire planet is covered by a single giant ocean. There isn't a single naturally occurring piece of land above the waves, and the native sentient species, the Selkath, are an aquatic species, capable of living in or out of the water. Because most of the footage I've collected for this video is set in the dark depths of the ocean floor, I've brightened the clips up a bit so you don't have to struggle to see it. As you'd expect of an aquatic world, it's filled with dozens of fascinating creatures, but today we're going to discuss FIRAXA. FIRAXA or FIRAXan sharks are deep-sea dwelling sharks roughly 10 feet long from the tip of their nose to the end of their tail. They share a lot of anatomy with real-world sharks, the dorsal fin, caudal fin, pectoral fin, pelvic fin, and so on. FIRAXA are incredibly dangerous and very aggressively territorial. They attack anything foolish enough to swim in their waters. Their teeth can penetrate even reinforced pressure suits durable enough to allow a human to walk on the sea floor, and they're strong enough to lift an adult human in such a pressure suit off their feet.
Come on, hurry up. Don't just stand there, we have to keep moving. The water is filled with cow! Ah!
During the Jedi Civil War, Republic scientists tried developing a repellent for the FIRAXA, but it proved far too toxic. Instead of driving the FIRAXA away, it ruptured their skin and clogged their gills, killing them in seconds, and that was only in controlled conditions. There was no telling what it would do in the open ocean. They're weakened by sonic pulses, which is the only real way to deal with them out on the open sea floor. During Revan's hunt for the Starforge, various clues led him to Manaan, and upon arriving on Ahto City, a city made above the water so the Selkath could work with other species, he had a vision. As with all the worlds that Revan visited while on this quest, his vision was of the star map, and he saw it on the ocean floor. After acquiring a submersible, Revan and his companions made their way down to the Hrakert Rift. The Hrakert Rift was the site of a research facility created secretly by the Republic and some of Manaan's ruling body in an effort to harvest Kolto, a liquid with healing properties found only on Manaan. Because of the Kolto, Manaan was able to stay strictly neutral in the ongoing Jedi Civil War. Both the Sith and the Republic needed Kolto, and as it was only found in the Hrakert Rift at the bottom of the sea, only the Selkath could harvest it. Some of Manaan's government, however, had the foresight to realize that if the Sith won and conquered or destroyed the Republic, it would only be a matter of time before the Sith took Manaan as well, hence the Hrakert Station and cooperation with the Republic. Shortly before Revan arrived on Manaan, however, the Republic embassy on the surface completely lost contact with Hrakert Station. Revan investigated and found that the station was almost empty. Something had driven the Selkath researchers there mad, and they had attacked and killed their colleagues in an uncontrolled feral rage. The only survivors were the still mad Selkath, a mercenary that the Republic had sent down to investigate, and a few researchers, one of whom had locked himself in a storage locker.
Is somebody out there? Fishy, fishy, fishy! Come and eat me too! You can't get me, little fishy! Not in here! I'm safe behind my walls! Investigate? You're just like the others. Fodder for the Selkath. Walking fish snacks. Trump, trump, trump. If you can run, you might be fast food. When the Selkath went insane and started killing everybody, I locked myself in here. I'm safe in here. Nothing can hurt me in here. No fishy food for me. When the demon screamed, it shook every mind in the station. We fell to the ground but survived. Fishy fishies, though, they just got hungry. No, 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 no. That's what the others said. Mercenaries like you. But they're dead. The Selkath ate them. Lunchy munchy. Only the ones left in the south part of the base might still be alive, where the Kolto is. Few fishies there, but many, many, many fishies in between the water. Bye-bye. Go look for fishy people. They'll chomp and bite. Food for fishy. That's you.
Revan, being Revan, was not slowed down by the Selkath, and he managed to acquire a pressure suit and a sonic emitter, and he set out onto the sea floor to get to a different section of the facility, Kolto Control. When he got through the walk along the ocean floor, he found two more researchers alive, Kono Nolan and Sammy, who explained to Revan that their construction had woken something up, a giant FIRAXan shark. When the shark screamed, it drove the Selkath insane. The scientists suspected that this giant FIRAXA had fed off the Kolto in the rift, hence its colossal size, but we'll get back to that in a bit. Revan was presented with a choice by the scientists. Kono Nolan wanted Revan to feed the anti-FIRAXA toxin they had been developing into the filtration machines to kill the shark, but Sammy objected that they didn't know what it would do to the Kolto and told Revan to instead destroy the machinery to calm the giant FIRAXA. Revan opted for the latter choice, and the giant shark backed off, allowing Revan access to the star map on the seafloor. So, what was that giant shark? Well, the Selkath call it the progenitor, and they suspect that it's truly ancient, that this massive female shark was actually the origin point of not only the Selkath species, but the FIRAXA as well. This would explain why the FIRAXA didn't attack Selkath in their waters, as well as why the Selkath were driven mad by the progenitor's scream. If this is true, it would mean that the progenitor is at least tens, if not hundreds of thousands of years old, and possibly millions. While Kono, Nolan, and Sammy said that the progenitor grew so large because she fed on the Kolto, I have a different theory. The star maps are artifacts of the dark side, and we know that the dark side can twist and alter living things. I suspect that the presence of the star map so close to the progenitor's lair subtly influenced its growth, allowing it to grow far larger than would be normal for a FIRAXA. In terms of gameplay mechanics, the progenitor behaves much like the Krayt Dragon on Tatooine in the game. If you get close to it without dealing with it first, you don't even get a fight, it's just an automatic game over. Because of that, it's difficult to get any kind of close view of the creature. When she's in the path to the star map, you'll die if you get too close, and after you calm her, she's considerably farther away. However, in the interest of bringing you the best content possible, I've gone ahead and installed a third-party free camera program so I can get these close-ups. We also see, possibly, the progenitor in Star Wars The Old Republic in the Legacy of the Sith expansion. This would add at least 300 years to the progenitor's age, which, considering it's supposedly hundreds of thousands of years old, isn't really all that much in the grand scheme of things. We can really get the feel for how large it must be. Due to the limitations of the original engine for Knights of the Old Republic, it couldn't really be rendered at its true size, but here you can really see how massive she is. The fact that she was able to recognize that Revan was a friend after he destroyed the Kolto harvesting machine seems to indicate at least some degree of intelligence and perhaps even sentience. The progenitor's scream likely possessed some kind of mind-affecting force power, a mind trick, some kind of compulsion, or even something similar to a power we discussed in the Dark Side Powers video. Click on the card on screen now if you want to go check that out. Force Insanity. It's clearly some kind of psychic wave that was a demand for protection. The progenitor, the mother of the Selkath and the FIRAXA, was calling out to her children to defend her. It's a chilling, eerie sound. Jedi Padawan Iskat Akaris added a polished FIRAXA tooth to the hilt of her first lightsaber and used it during the Clone Wars, but when she fell to the dark side and joined the Imperial Inquisitorius, Darth Vader destroyed this weapon. In Star Wars The Old Republic, a speeder bike called the Praxan FIRAXA is obtainable, clearly named after the FIRAXA, and it has shark teeth similar to the shark face markings seen on fighter planes in World War II and beyond, as a reference to the eponymous animal. In the Legends article Dining at Dex's, one of the menu options at Dex's Diner is the Manaan slider and has Firaxan shark fillet. This is tenuous Legends continuity at best, as it was written for a fan club article, and we certainly didn't see Obi-Wan order this in Attack of the Clones when he visited Dex's Diner.
Obi-Wan! Hello, Dex.
FIRAXA were created for the 2003 game Knights of the Old Republic and have only had limited appearances since, mostly in Legends continuity. They've been mentioned in Knights of the Old Republic 2, a few of the expansions for the Old Republic, the novelization of the 2008 Clone Wars movie? Didn't know that was a thing, but okay. Republic Commando True Colors, which was a novel expanding on Delta Squad from the Republic Commando game, and the novel Legacy of the Force, Revelation. To date, their only canon mention is in Inquisitor, Rise of the Red Blade, but that's just mentioning the tooth is Catakaris attached to her lightsaber. I really like the FIRAXA. That's honestly a more recent fondness, though. When I was 14 and Knights of the Old Republic had just come out, the FIRAXA scared the Sith out of me. They're fine when you can observe them through a super durable window, but out on the ocean floor with them, where they move completely silently and on harder skills can insta-kill you, made them unsettling, and having only a sonic emitter that takes time to cool down to defend yourself made them downright terrifying to child me.
I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me.
Nowadays, I find them more interesting than scary, but that could be because I know their placements in the world, so I can kill them without any danger to myself. I can't stress enough how much I love sea monsters. SCP-1128, the aquatic horror from the SCP Foundation, the Sea Emperor Leviathan from Subnautica, Emerald Weapon in Final Fantasy VII, Kyogre in Pokemon, and so on. When I was in middle school, I had a friend that had the Magic the Gathering card Denizen of the Deep, which is, all things considered, kind of a bad card, but the art on it was so amazing. I traded him for it, a really great deal. I probably gave him the better side of things, but his mother found me later in the day and told me he wasn't allowed to trade and I had to give the card back. A few years ago, with my grown-up money, I bought one for myself on Card Kingdom for a really decent price, and now I just use it as a display piece. I'm not sponsored by Card Kingdom or anything, I just like them. So because of my love of sea monsters, the idea of the progenitor just works for me. A giant, ancient, possibly intelligent shark that's the potential origin point of two species. I really want to see more of the FIRAXA. Maybe if that Knights of the Old Republic remake ever materializes, we'll get a better look at them. Or maybe if Cal's travels in the final game in Respawn's planned trilogy takes him to Manaan, we can get a trip to the sea floor. I could see Manaan using her Night Sister magic to create a bubble of air around her and Cal while they track down something deep beneath the waves. It would be awesome if we could see the progenitor again too. Again, maybe on that same trip with Cal and Manaan. Cal does have a history of helping giant creatures after all. So what do you think of the FIRAXA? Did they unsettle you as much as they did kid me? Or were they one of those things that sort of faded into the background for you? Let me know, and let me know what you want me to cover next. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the kind of video you just watched, please give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button. There's a new video every single Friday, polls, posts, and even bonus videos here and there. If you want to see another video on a Star Wars creature that first appeared in Knights of the Old Republic, click here. Or click here for last week's video on the Maladian Assassins. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.